Hello, welcome to Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. In very exciting news, another article has gone up on warhammercommunity.com by Games Workshop, their advertising space, and it's about the new Cities of Sigmar models. And I like the chat. I'm joined by the Twitch chat. You can see here such legends as LLV, Owen, Jacob, Nelson Mandela, loads of amazing people, right? And we are going to look at these new units that have just been announced. So this is kind of my react, which I'm very, very excited about. If you've already been keeping track, I've done a couple of videos already about Cities of Sigmar. I couldn't be more excited. Stormcast, out the window. Stormcast are not allowed in the game anymore. They're banned. RIP Stormcast. Cities of Sigmar are the new main faction for Age of Sigmar. That's what we've decided as a community and as a group. Obviously, the army that you play is important, but Cities of Sigmar are the main faction. They're like the backbone now, which is really fun. So the Wilder Corpse Hunters pair human and hound to scout the mortal realms. This is it. This is all they needed to do. Okay? Look at that Stormcast at the top right. Literally no, just boring. Absolutely boring. A human and a dog. Sold. Okay, can you ally them into Iron Jaws if you play Blood Wolves? Okay, the Cities of Sigmar range far and wide across the mortal realms. We already know that they've got loads of shields. They've got the gun guys with the shields, the hammer guy, the infantry guys with the shields, the cavalry with the shields. So it's all about the cities, which is kind of cool. They get the idea that they're a human kind of nation, literally surrounded by monsters. So they build these big walls, and then they carry that aesthetic into the other miniatures, which is wicked. I think the design team have done something really cool there, and I really like that idea that they've put that on the minis and even in how it plays. But as this says, the Castlite formations are so vast as to be easy pickings for agile enemy warbands that swipe up flanks and pick off stragglers. To ensure the territory they forge into is safe, wise generals dispatch bands of dedicated Wilder Corpse Hunters ahead of them to act as stealthy scouts. Okay. The Wilder Corpse Hunters are expert trackers with an intimate knowledge of the rougher parts of the mortal realms. Oh, they must have been to my local pub. Thank you, that's an English joke. Good night. Often recruited from the reclaimed, those people who survived for generations under the cruel lash of chaos while Azir's doors were closed. If you don't know how it works, really quickly and simply, Sigmar finds all the realms, populates them with life. We don't know how. Just loads of Greek god stuff, I imagine. Loads of humans in all the realms. Then eventually chaos comes. Sigmar runs away, hides behind his big castle wall in the realm of Azir. Then chaos basically take over pretty much everything, destroy every nation, city, just destroyed almost everything. They're down to the last few human stragglers. Then Sigmar turns up, takes over everything, and then it's oh, by the way, we're in charge now. We're the police state. Which is what he does. So that's what's happening. So these are the people, or the descendants of the people, who kind of still were able to survive under the callous reign of chaos, which is pretty fun. They've endured sickness, hunger, and inclement weather to hone their skills to keen knife's edge. I'm not sure inclement weather is the same as sickness and hunger. But anyway, Wilder Corps squads are unparalleled in their ability to scout the environment for traps and sappers. They perform this surveillance with the aid of trail hounds. Oh my god. Legendary bad-tempered dogs bred for keen senses. There's no bad-tempered dogs. And powerful jaws. They sniff out rival scouting parties and raconteur shady groves and clammy warrens where the hunters can lie in wait. These are the models! Okay, everything is perfect. Okay, let's look at these in detail. Is there a kind of click through? No, okay, so these are the minis. Everything is perfect. Everything about this is perfect. Everything. Number one, raggedy ass clothes, but a bit of armor. Perfect. Scrolls. You love to see it. Some just random assortment of weapons. There's a guy with 2 pistol crossbows. How does he even reload them? Right? How does he even reload them? You got a dude whistling the dogs. You have the actual dogs who look perfect in every way. Obviously, they're Games Workshop minis, so a little bit more angular and square than you would see from a 3D printed mini, which generally tends to be a little bit more textured and organic, right? This is so good. There's a guy with a face. Don't forget, this comes off the back. This comes off the back of the shooting unit, which we previously got. Which has a little dude, a little squire who comes and helps you reload. The whimsy in this army is 11 out of 10, while also able to maintain like a very fantasy Witcher-esque aesthetic. Okay, right, let's go through each person in detail. Chap on the left, little bit on the, like me, on the husky side. Yeah, keeping it real though, got himself a nice spear. Then we've got a kind of like more kind of like, like gammon-headed chap with a crossbow that has to stand still. Loves a drink in Weatherspoons. I mean, who doesn't? Then we've got a couple of chaps on the left who are just our regular crossbow dudes, which is fun. I'd like to see these guys have like a skirmish rule, like a scouting rule at the beginning. We've got maybe our unit leader, double crossbow dude, which is fun. Is that a fish? What are we looking at? There is a little bit of a fish at the bottom of... Yeah, so the guy with the crossbow has got like an anglerfish at his feet, which is very weird. And I don't respect that. Wait, there is. So over on the far right-hand side, this guy with the crossbow, there's some sort of head popping out of his sock, like a little dude, right? It's a head in the sock. Not sure what that's about. We've got a guy with 2 crossbows. We've got a guy wolf whistling the dogs, which is amazing. Love these. And then we've got all of the doggos. We've got Barry, we've got Charlie, we've got Bernard, and we've got Rosie on the right-hand side. And then we've got our main guy with an axe. This means we'll get multiple weapon choices for building them. That's super exciting. The models are 11 out of 10. If you watch this back on YouTube, tell me what you think of the models, if you like them or if you're excited. Chat, your time to tell me how you feel about them. How do you feel? Mournfold in the chat thinks they're pretty sick. Terry says, I'm confused why there's a fish. I kind of agree with him in many ways. Does the double crossbow pistol guy have an ammo squire? He doesn't need it. He's too much of a badass. Declan says they're great. Dadbod says 10 out of 10. No girl bosses in the squad. That's a good shout. That is a good shout. No girl bosses, apart from maybe all the doggos. These are the first 23-year-old free company that go to be the old world. Yes. We've talked about this a lot, but SDS, especially design studios, are in a war with Games Workshop Citadel, and Citadel are just winning this fight all day long. Fish is a Mordheim throwback. Oh, it is, of course. Isn't the whistleblower a girl boss? Oh, the whistleblower might be a girl boss. That is true. Hashtag Barbie. There's nothing in the New Cities range that I haven't loved. Correct. Okay. When armies clash, these hardy pioneers use their foreknowledge in the battlefield and remain effectively unseen by their enemies. As such, they can't be targeted while they're in cover or outside of 12 inches. Wow, that's a great ability. All the while, they carefully train their arbalists on critical targets, aiming for vulnerable spots to convert an extra pip of rend to their devastating ambushes. All the while, they carefully train their arbalists on critical targets, aiming for vulnerable spots. This is honestly amazing. I think Gangsta Paradise is right in the chat. Cities of Sigmar is such an assault on the old world in their miniature range, like quite clearly. Army I love to play but hate to paint. I think that's a really good shout as well. Like, I mean, that unit that you're looking at, the scouting unit here, is probably 10. It's probably like 80 to 120 points. You might have to get 2 or 3 units of them in a war game. That's really expensive. So the big guy gives the rest of the unit rend if he hits. We don't know. So hidden and dangerous, this unit is not visible to enemy units while it's in cover or while it's more than 12 inches away from them. In addition, improve the rend characteristics of this unit's missile weapons by 1 while it's in cover. So if they get into cover, their missile weapons become rend 1 and they get a scouting unit as well. Not content with scouting duty for larger armies, the World of Corpse Hunters also strike out on their own as a Warcry warband. Oh, so they are a Warcry warband. Interesting. So we have seen this a lot of kind of these unique units in Age of Sigmar now, which are really amazing sculpts, but they're generally like a mixed set of units, are a Warcry warband, in addition to also being a unit you can play in Age of Sigmar. There are some loadouts on the Twitter pic. Could you get me the link? That'd be great. Extra weapons and options for building. Oh my god, amazing. Who bring their own pets into battle, like the Offal Hounds. Okay, so we've got some pictures as well on Twitter of the different weapon loadouts. Amazing. So let's just go check these out here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we do have some extra weapon loadouts. Oh, you can see double hand weapons, some spear options as well. So there are some different... There's a 2-axe lady in this mix as well. What an amazing warband. There is a girl boss over there with 2 axes, so we'd love to see that. Amazing. Also, the Flesh Eater Beast Hunter's going to pre-order this weekend, separate from the Warcry box. They do, which is going to be really popular. Okay, I mean, ultimately, an incredible release. Please let me know what you think of them. The chat have already told me what they think. If you're watching this back as a YouTube video, tell me what you think. But for me personally, I was initially very impressed by the Knights when we first saw them. Every release after that has been a release where, unfortunately, I think this is going to have to be an army that I pick up. I don't think there's been an army this exciting in a very long time for Age of Sigmar. I mean, Safe Startness was really cool. There were some great sculpts for that. The Sylvaneth release was really wild and pretty interesting. But ultimately, yeah, I think this is going to have to be an army I get, because this fulfills all of my actual like fantasy, low fantasy needs. But they've really rethought about how they are going to like portray the cities. And if this is their first kind of foray into the non-heavily armored, army units, and these are like the scouting units, and we might see some artillery pieces. We've talked about that already. We might see some artillery pieces in the future. We've still got some more hero units to see. Yeah, this is just the best. So, yeah, let me know what you think. It'd be cool to talk about that.